The news is live on Joy 99.7 and hits 103.9 FM in Accra, in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM, and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Shine FM, Akachi Radio, Max Takrade, and Ridge in Tamale. Get radio, TV, and online content on the myjoyonline.com interactive app for Android and iOS devices. Coming up, Professor Frimpong Boateng heads back at Gabi Ochredako and Kojo Nkrumah, who are denying allegations they were complicit in the illegal mining activities in his 37-page report, with details of his statement fiercely defending his report. Also, Greater Accra Regional Security Council begins an exercise to take back government lands stolen by individuals, including the Ramsey sites.
We'll start the processes of dealing with issues around Ramsar. And those lands that we are able to retrieve unutilized, we will hand over to state agencies.
In business,
International Development Association of the World Bank makes guarantee payment of $372 million on behalf of Ghana for the 2030 Eurobond. Details on the Joy Business Report.
And later, Electricity Company of Ghana to target individuals engaged in illegal connection as the nationwide revenue mobilization comes to an end.
You've stolen, and if you've stolen, you have to be charged with stealing. So everybody should consider this a head start to correct all what they've done, because when we are coming with the full might of the law.
I am Maame Esi Thompson. Please stay for details. Our first story, former Environment Minister Professor Frimpong Boateng has fired back at some top officials who have gone public denying they were involved in illegal mining in his 37-page report. The presidency has already dismissed the report, saying no evidence of the allegations had been provided to further investigations. But Professor Frimpong Boateng, in two separate statements directly responding to the president's cousin Gabi Ochredako and Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah, seemed to be defending his position and standing by his 37-page report detailing how their acts frustrated his duties to stop the canker while chairing the Inter-Ministerial Committee on Illegal Mining. But before we get details from the statements, first listen to portions of Gabi Ochredako's response to the allegations.
Now, what do you do as a lawyer? So I call the Minister for clarification. I have a client who has all the documents or permits and licenses required to do prospecting. Everything. And he goes on site, and then soldiers come to basically stop, not just stop them from working, but seize all the equipment. So I asked the minister, but they have permits, so what really, I want to understand the issue. And then the minister fires back and says, they are not prospecting, they are mining. Are you challenging the permit as fake? I said, no, but it shouldn't have been issued. I said, yeah, but that's a different matter.
While Professor Frimpong Boateng has been defending his report, he has gone on to release two statements backing it with evidence against Gabi Ochredako and Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah. My colleague Samuel Imbora joins me with details. Samuel, first, how does he respond to Gabi?
Professor Frimpong Boateng says Mr. Gabi Ochredako seems to have forgotten that his client has a strong history of acting with impunity. Donald Entra, who operated both C&J Alaska and Heritage Imperial Mining Company Limited, has a history of abusing mining permits and regulations. On 29th November 2016, Mr. Tony Orbin, then Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Commission during the NDC administration, wrote to C&G Alaska that the company was seriously engaged in illegal mining on its prospecting license. On 30th January 2017, Mr. Orbin again wrote to C&J Alaska for undertaking mining activities illegally without obtaining all the requisite permits and approvals. He goes further to say that on the 2nd of October 2017, Honorable John Peter Mewu, the first NPP Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, wrote to G&G Alaska regarding the Dwabo concession and directed that in view of the fact that G&G Alaska does not have a valid mining operating permit and that the ministry has not yet ratified your mining lease, you are directed not to carry out any mining operations in the concession until your mining leases. He goes on to say or to allege that his client's company attacked the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining Task Force team and damaged the vehicle carrying journalists who were covering the IMCIM operations. The unfortunate scenes were captured on camera and shown on Joy TV. He ends his response to Gabi Ochiri-Darko with 13 pictures documenting devastation of the environment caused by clients of Mr. Gabi Ochiri-Darko, 2 reports by Erastus Asari-Donko shown on Joy TV, and a letter from Tony Obin and CNG Alaska dated 29th November 2016.
Right. Can you also tell us what he's been telling, how he's been responding to Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah?
To Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah, Mr. Frimpong Boateng says, I have good advice for you though. When I was part of the government, we were colleagues and I related to you as such. Now I will advise you as my son, just as I do with my children. After all, you are the same age as my 4th born son. When I returned to Ghana from Germany to start the cardiothoracic project, you were just 6 years old as my 4th child. I will not lie to you or insult you or be harsh on you. My advice is always remember that political power is both short-lived and in about 2 years' time, you may no longer be in government and you may experience the real world as former high-profile political power holders do. I'll urge you to do your work diligently and avoid the coded and evil tactics Mr. Paul Adomotri boastfully and unshamedly told the world on Good Evening Ghana that you employ to deal with your real and perceived enemies.
Thank you so much, Samuel Imbura. Moving on, the Greater Accra Regional Security Council is beginning an exercise to take back state lands believed to have been stolen or encroached on by individuals. Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Korte, who announced this, said the move has become necessary following the reluctance of these individuals occupying the lands illegally to move.
Most of government lands that have been encroached, myself as a regional security chairman, and your lands minister and other agencies are moving in to retrieve government lands so it can be used for purposes of this nature. We'll start the processes of dealing with issues around Ramsar, and those lands that we are able to retrieve unutilized, we will hand over to state agencies for similar things to be built for the security and intelligence agencies, the judiciary, nurses, teachers, and others, so that encroachment of government lands will stop.
The managing director of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Samuel Mahama, says processes are underway for the company to embark on another exercise that focuses on illegal connections in the country. The company in the last 4 weeks embarked on a revenue mobilization drive to collect over 5.7 billion cedis owed by customers in both the private and public sectors. According to Samuel Mahama, illegal connections caused grave losses to his outfit. He further added that people who would be culpable of the act will be tried in court for stealing.
The next phase will be targeting mostly the illegal connections and making sure that all of those things are tackled and tackled well. We should note that an illegal collection is you stealing, because it's not that you have a bucket somewhere and you're collecting the electricity into it. After you've bypassed that, when I come for it, you can take the bucket and give it to me that here's your electricity. But rather, you've stolen. And if you've stolen, you have to be charged with stealing.
And to politics now, Ernest Yao Enim is now representing the NPP in the upcoming Kumewu by-election. He attained 195 votes to beat closest contestant Amasewa, who polled 181 votes. Dr. Da Costa Boaji polled 27 votes, while Kwame Apiakobi and Osei Bempap shared 15 votes. Nana Ojima has filed this report.
All delegates, after the introduction of the aspirants in the NPP primary, were made to pledge support for whoever is elected as parliamentary candidate. The aspirants for the primary were also made to pledge unity after the election. Issues of vote buying leveled against aspirants were openly denied. Mr. Kodia alerted the police to arrest any individual who attempted to make their ballot open.
And that was a report by Lava Films Nanayao Jim. And that's all for the bulletin you heard in our top story. Professor Frimpong Boateng hitting back at Gabriel Chidako and Kojo Ponkruma, who are denying allegations they were complicit in illegal mining activities in his report. Up next.